Hello, my name is Gene Wisnand. I'm the Vice President, one of the lead firearms instructors, and one of the owners of Trident Firearms Academy, LLC, located in Central California. Today I wanted to do a short review of the new SIG P320. This is the 9mm full size. Before I get into that, I want to do a little bit about myself. As I said, I'm one of the owners of Trident Firearms Academy, LLC. I'm also a licensed private investigator working mainly in the criminal field. I hold numerous instructor certifications from the NRA Law Enforcement Division. I've been a competitive shooter, Navy corpsman, attached to the Marine Corps, veteran of Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and a couple other unnamed operations. So with that out of the way, a little bit about the SIG P320. This gun was introduced in at the SHOT Show in 2014. It's manufactured in Exeter, New Hampshire. I hope it's pronounced Exeter. I'm a West Coaster, so I'm not really sure how those East Coasters do it. It's available in 9mm, 357 SIG, 40 caliber, and 45 ACP. This is an evolution of the SIG P320, which was a double action only handgun. Modular style, very similar to the 320. This is SIG's first foray, if you will, into the striker fired market. And I'll go into that a little bit more here in a moment. Overall, I've been fairly impressed with it. A couple shortcomings that I'll address in the video. So let's have a little fun. Alright, the SIG P320 is a short recoil operated locked breech pistol. It uses 6 hours cam operated barrel, which locks into the ejection port of the slide. Very similar to a lot of other handguns out on the market today. SIG calls it theirs. Some of the features of the handgun, of course, has the modular design. This is the compact frame, full-size frame. Get into measurements here in a moment. Very modular design. It runs on an internal stainless steel frame, which is the only serial numbered part, which you may be able to see here, right there, a little part right there. Anyway, it runs on those stainless steel rails. It's got they call it a fire control unit, which is the trigger group, and the only serial number part of the firearm. It also has ambidextrous slide lock levers for right and left-handed, glass reinforced polymer grip frame, which I'll talk a little bit about. The ability to field strip it without any tools. It's available in 3 sizes, it's available in 4 sizes, and each size has 3 sizes, sub-sizes. It comes in full, carry, compact, and subcompact sizes. Full, carry, and compact all have the Picatinny rail here that allows for mounting of accessories, lights for the most part, I imagine, lights and lasers. As for the grip sizes, the grip size or circumference is available in all the different frames in small, medium, or large. This is the medium frame, and it's what's the standardly shipped with the handguns, and I find it to be very comfortable. Most people that have shot this gun like it. A couple exceptions, but most people like the medium size. Frame sizes are, as I said, full, carry, compact, and subcompact. Big difference between the full size has a full underlug. The the carry has a shortened underlug, similar in length to the or dust rail cover, similar in size to the compact, but with magazine capacity and length of the full size, so you get a long grip, shorter slide and barrel. Recoil assembly. Compact abbreviates the capacity down to 15 from 17, and it has a shorter dust cover. Subcompact does not have, obviously, smaller capacity, even shorter dust cover, and does not have the Picatinny rail. The 940 and 357 SIG all share the same frames, so any frame that's made for the 9 can be used in the 40 or 357 SIG. 45 caliber, of course, because the larger cartridge has a slightly wider frame with a larger magazine well, expectedly. SIG offers the caliber exchange kits, which are essentially every part except for the fire control unit, the trigger group. So you get a frame, a slide, the barrel, and the recoil assembly in all the exchange kits. A little bit more on those a bit later. Possible negative to the handgun as a whole. Safeties. The SIG P320 does not have a manual safety. There's no manual safety on the frame or on the slide. It does have a striker safety, which prevents the striker from releasing unless the trigger is completely pulled. It has a disconnect safety, meaning that if the firearm is out of battery, it won't fire. So if the slide's slightly retracted, the gun will not fire. Where that becomes important, or can become important, is in a struggle with an individual. If you have to go body to body and pull the trigger, gun won't fire. It requires some distance to be able to fire. That little clicking you're hearing, by the way, is not the sear or the striker being released. There's a striker being released. If you reset the sear, that's it, and that's, you get the click, but it's not actually releasing. It's just a click. I guess it could be beneficial for sear reset drills without dry fire sear reset drills. Also note the length of trigger pull on that. That's as far as you need to go. Very short, very Glock-like, if you will. It has a 3-point takedown safety system, which I kind of like. What that means is the magazine must be removed, the slide must be locked to the rear, and then you are able to depress or lower the takedown lever. Demonstration of that, of course, with the magazine in place, that takedown lever cannot be depressed. You can't not disassemble the gun with the magazine in place. So there's also, beauty of that, of course, is there's no trigger manipulation in order to do a takedown. As far as safeties go, SIG does offer a tabbed trigger as an aftermarket or as a special order. The tabbed trigger is very similar to the Glock trigger, but it's an aftermarket part, like I said. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about the specs on the SIG P320 full-size 9mm. This gun. All right, some of the specs. Overall length is 8 inches. Overall height is 5.5 inches. Sight radius 6 inches. I'm sorry, sight radius is 6.6 inches, a little over 6.5 inches. I currently have SIG Pro night sights set up on this gun. I'm happy with them. I don't really have any intention of changing them out. They come with the gun, or you can save yourself 50 or 60 bucks and get the 3-dot sights. Weight of the firearm with the magazine in place is 29.4 ounces. Slide material is stainless steel with the nitron finish from SIG. Interesting that it's stainless steel. I guess you could bead blast it and have yourself a two-tone gun if you wanted, or bling it out a little bit, give it a little gold color and play with it. Magazine capacity, as stated, was 17 rounds. 17 rounds in the standard magazine, 17 and 9mm, 14 and 40 caliber, and 14, of course, in 357 SIG. Then onto the specs on the compact, and I'm gonna have to beg your forgiveness on this. SIG does not have the 9mm exchange kit available in this compact frame yet, so all I did was buy a frame, which was actually kind of interesting. $48 to my door, $48, and I got this piece. Got the mag in place. By the way, the mag release is user switchable. I don't know if that's the right term for it or not, but you can move it from right to left for a right or left-handed shooter. All right, so when I'm talking about the specs on the compact size, you're going to have to imagine that there's a slide in place like this, kind of. All right, so overall length is going to be 7.2 inches. 7.2 inches overall length, 5.3 inches overall height. Sight radius is going to be 5.8 inches. My firearm will have, of course, when I get the upper assembly, of course, we'll have SIG night sights, SIG-like night sights. Magazine with weight of the firearm with an unloaded magazine is 26 ounces. Magazine capacity, interestingly enough, on a Free State magazine, which this one's not. This is a California Abomination, 10 round. It's been neutered to 10 rounds. Magazine capacity, standard magazine capacity is going to be 15 rounds for 9mm, 13 for 40 caliber, and 13 for 357 SIG, of course. 45, I've mentioned before, it is available in 45. I don't believe SIG has released those yet. If they have, they're very, very limited numbers. I do intend on getting a 45 caliber version of the gun, probably in full size, because when I carry it concealed, I don't know. Actually, I haven't made that decision yet. The intended use of the gun for me when I purchased it, of course, was to be a concealed carry gun, to put it on my permit here in the beautiful, wonderful state of California, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Well, actually, I'll talk about it now. One of the benefits of having a firearm like the SIG P320 on a permit in a state that requires each gun to be listed. For instance, here in California, most counties offer, those that offer permits allow you to have 3 guns on your permit. One of the things I was able to do, and one of the things I found with this gun, the department that I'm issued a concealed weapons permit through, basically will allow you to have 3 serial numbers on your permit. So currently, I have this gun, the SIG P320, listed on my permit. And as far as calibers go, it has 9, 40, and 45 listed on the permit. So with that, what it allows me to do is take this gun. If I'm going to the range, I want to carry it in a full-size 9 or 45. I can carry it that way. When I get done at the range, I can switch it out to a subcompact model or a compact model, or I can basically have 3 calibers, 4 sizes, overall sizes, with 3 different grips. Obviously, I like the medium grip, so I'll stick with the medium grip. However, 3 calibers, 4 different frame sizes with each caliber. So in theory, I could have 12 different, a dozen guns, a dozen different configurations on one line of my permit. So that's kind of cool. There are also some states that limit the number of guns. I don't believe there are any here in the United States that limit the number of guns that you can own. But again, if that were a concern, that would be a solution. 1 serial number, whole bunch of different calibers, sizes, shapes. They should call it the Chameleon. I think it should be called the SIG Sauer P320 Chameleon, because it'll morph itself into anything you want. Okay, the other use that other reason I purchased this gun was as a training gun, in very limited applications. I could also use it as a duty gun. I'm not operational, However, if I were, I do periodically do executive protection jobs, or security, plainclothes security gigs, situations like that. I can see this great chance of being the gun that I'd carry during those events. Like the gun that much. There are also some. I've done a couple of prisoner transports where I get all decked out and all the heavy gear. And this would be a cool gun to have on that. Kind of has that futuristic, intimidating look. But this is also my range gun, my training gun at times. Some of my students have seen me with this gun. It's a great conversation piece because of the relative newness of the gun. So people want to look at it. And to that one subscriber who says with my Kel-Tec that I cycle the action a lot, yeah, I do it with this gun too. It's what I do. I like playing with guns. It was kind of funny though. So as a training gun, of course, you can train with a full-size gun, switch out to a compact gun, same manual of arms, very similar recoil. I'm going to address here in a little bit with some pretty cool little videos we shot. So one of the big comparisons for this gun, of course, is one of my other training guns, or one of my other carry guns too, actually. I've had this gun for a very, very long time. Well, not a very long time, a while. The Glock 17. Little bit on this Glock 17. Obviously, it's been heavily modified. The grip's been reduced down, texturing, finger grooves are gone. Had some nice little add-ons put on here. One of the first things you notice is, of course, is these. If you're familiar with Glocks, you may say to yourself, "Wow, those don't look like the normal slide grooves you see on there." They're not. This is actually started life as a Glock 17 RTF2 finished gun. So I had it heavily modified by Cold Bore Customs, located in Texas. I'll do a link down there where the show notes are, right down there. Lane Owens, the owner of Cold War Customs, says great work, real nice guy, real upfront, stand-up kind of guy. If you need some work done on a firearm, definitely look up Cold War Custom. Really happy with the work they've done. They've done a couple of mine. They did a couple of my partners' guns. So very happy with it. Anyway, so the obvious comparison to any new striker fired gun is going to be to the Glock. There may be some people who you want to compare it to the new, or not relatively new, HK striker fired gun, the Walther PPQ, all those other guns. Glock's the king of the hills. That basically means Glock's way up here, way up at the top dog, on the top of the mountain. Little up and comer. He's trying to get up the hill, knock him down. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Time will tell. So, top dog. Want to be top dog, but I like them. Anyway, all right, so we've got specs. As I've stated on the SIG, I'm going to repeat some of these. Overall length on the SIG is 8 inches. Overall length on the Glock 17. All these specs are going to be third generation, by the way. 7.87 overall. Overall height, 5.5 inches. On the SIG, overall on the Glock is going to be 5.3 inches. Sight radius is going to be 6.6 on the SIG, 6.49 on the Glock. I actually have some Trijicon HD sights on here. Another big promo on those guys. Trijicon HD, good sights. Give me slightly longer, like very, very slightly longer. Might be about the same on this. What do we say? Actually looks to be a little bit longer on the Glock with the HD sights, Trijicon HD sights. Slide material, stainless steel, carbon steel, nitron finish, Tenefer finish. I've never had a problem with the Glock rusting out, showing excessive wear. So though it is carbon steel, more prone to rusting, Tenefer finish is almost going to make it impossible to happen. Could, not likely. Magazine capacity. Guess how much Glock 17 has? 17 rounds. 17 rounds on the SIG. Therefore, you got 17 and 17. Overall, as far as these two handguns go, it's a wash. Whatever fits better in your hand. One of the things you'll notice Glocks do not fit well on my hand. I've never been overly comfortable with the grip angle on a Glock, so all mine are modified down. Modified, whoa, okay, so modified, unmodified. Make the gun fit your hand, be happy with what you got. I'm always happy with what I got. That's why I've got the title of the Gun of the Month Club. My business partner loves to call me because I like new guns, and as soon as I buy it, it's the best ever. It's going to be the greatest. And then I buy another one, and it becomes the greatest. So, all right, back to the review, or comparison. Actually, we're going to get done with the comparison. I'll do a little bit more on the comparison when I get in some other videos that we shot out. Here on the SIG P320, let's go a little bit over the pros and cons of the SIG P320. Modularity, of course. Very modular gun, easy to, as I exhaustively said, changing out the frame, shape, sizes, it's a chameleon, morphs itself. Ergonomics, I really like. For me, it fits well in my hand. It's a good pointing handgun. Feels natural, like the grip. Reliability, so far for me, I've got about 800 or so rounds through this gun. I've had no issues. The only issues that I've had, no failure to fires, no failure to ejects, no double feed issues. The only problem I have fairly regularly, could get rid of it with training, of course, is locking the slide to the rear. Because of the way that I grip the gun, that's my normal grip, and you notice my thumb wants to ride right on top of that slide stop. So when I grip the gun, that doesn't want to lock back. One of the solutions for that, of course, is to ride the thumb slightly outboard. For you Navy types, that's the port side. For you landlubbers, don't worry about it. It's the left side. God, there's so many jokes I could go into right now. It's the side, whatever. I won't get into it. All right, so that's a problem for me. My understanding is that SIG has a fix coming out where the slide stop lever, where it now angles slightly rearward, it's going to angle slightly forward. Interesting part on that is that it will cover part of the serial number. It'll be interesting how they solve that, whether they make that a left side forward, right side stay how it is, or they raise it slightly. A number of solutions possible for it, I guess, but that is a problem they've been made aware of, and they are trying to fix it. Safety of the gun, takedown safety, as far as, like I said, having to make sure the gun's empty, eject the magazine, lock the slide to the rear, takedown lever. There's no trigger manipulation, which is really nice. There's also no trigger manipulation, which I already said. Seem minor to some people, and it is a fairly minor issue with training and with responsibility. You'll understand that. However, I have heard a number of problems of people not clearing the gun and then pulling the trigger to disassemble the gun on the Glock, and it didn't go so well. Some of the cons, one of the ones I mentioned was the slide takedown lever, or I'm sorry, slide lock lever. Frame material is worth mentioning. The frames are glass reinforced polymer, similar to the Glocks, but to me they feel a little bit more flimsy, not quite as durable or strong. I don't know if that's true or not. They just feel that way. They feel lighter, which of course light means weak, and we all know that's true with titanium, right? Yeah, exception to the rule maybe. They feel insignificant, but one of the high points on that is this frame, $48 to my door. That was total cost, was $48 and change, 48 and change. So for all you do-it-yourself wonderful little handymans, if you want to take your Dremel tool, soldering iron, whatever, and start, your wife's iron, and start trying to flatten the frame out or change it or modify it into some god-awful abomination, You can do that, and if you screw it up, which you're likely to do, go ahead and toss it out and buy yourself a new one for 48 bucks. So 48 bucks kind of works for me. I like that. One of the other complaints we've heard about the gun, or I've heard about the gun, is the high bore axis, how high the center of the bore is on the hand. Obvious physics teaches us that that's going to increase recoil, give them a little bit more felt recoil muzzle flip. Whereas on the Glock, notice it right there. I don't get bit by that. Looks like I should, but I don't. Much lower bore axis. When you watch the videos that we're going to attach here, you're going to see that muzzle flip isn't nearly as bad as you might think it would be. The owner of one of our local indoor shooting ranges, California Shooting Sports, located here in Modesto, California, has the owner of the store, Tyler Thalman. He and I shot, or actually he shot a number of guns. I videoed it. We shot the Glock 17, the one you saw right here, the SIG P320, the one you see right here, and his Smith & Wesson M&P 9 and a Springfield XD in 9mm. To demonstrate some of the muzzle flip on those 4 different guns. And one of the things I think you're going to find is there's not a whole lot of difference on them. It becomes pretty much shooter's choice. What guns feels better in your hand? Which one do you feel more comfortable with? Which one do you have the most confidence in is the one you should probably use. One of the other cons or negatives about the gun is the cost of the conversions. Originally, when I bought the gun, SIG had conversion kits going for $302, $302. It's a great price on it. I really regret not picking up a couple of those, especially ones that I'm probably not going to use. 327 SIG, never going to use it. Love the caliber. Availability is a pain in the butt. 40 caliber, should have picked up. 9mm is not available yet in compact. 45, as of the recording of this, I don't believe it's available. Now they're up to $399. It's a lot of money. A lot of people say, well, you should just buy a new gun, spend a couple $100 more and buy a new gun. That's always an option. However, like I said, there is a benefit to having same serial number, multiple different configurations. Another big thing about when you buy your SIG, register it with SIG online. Go to SIG's website, register your purchase. They'll give you 40% off your next purchase, and this is where I'm a little unclear. But I plan on using that when the 45 caliber becomes available. Use that 40%. I'm hoping it's 40% off your entire order because I'll buy a boatload of stuff. If it's not, then I'll have to buy another SIG and get another 40% off sooner or later. So there you have it. There's the cost of the conversions. That may be at $400 and change. That may be an issue. Why not just buy a new gun? Yeah, I like the gun, but your choice. So that pretty much sums up this part of the review of the SIG P320. I'm going to show you takedowns. Sort of the videos after this, or as part of this, are going to show taking the gun down, switching out the frame, how easy it is, and then also the comparison videos. Be sure to check out the show notes down there. I'll link as much as I can to different products we used, which wasn't really a whole lot. Like the channel, comment on our videos. I'll comment back as soon as I can, when I can, if I feel like it, if it's worth responding to. So have fun, and remember, hope is not a strategy. Now we're going to go through a little bit of the inside of the SIG P320. Of course, first thing we're going to want to do is confirm the gun is empty, pull the mag out, no ammunition in the magazine, lock the slide to the rear, confirm the chamber is empty, look, touch, feel, no magazine in place, gun is empty. All right, to take down this handgun, of course, we have to lock the slide to the rear as it is now, remove the magazine, move the takedown lever forward, and slide it off. That easy. That's as easy as it is to take the gun apart. Pretty simple. Of course, you notice there was no manipulation of the trigger at any point during that takedown process. Now, on the frame, if you want to pull out the fire control unit, push the takedown lever here all the way through, pull it out, lift the fire control unit out. That's it. It's that simple. It's the main components. One thing about this, the fire control unit, this little pin right here has a tendency to want to walk out a little bit, so I'm very careful with that. Always make sure that never goes anywhere. Have a heck of a time trying to find that little tiny spring. I'm sorry, that little tiny pin. So, comparison of the full size and the compact frames. Now, we want to throw the compact frame on here, or if you wanted to change calibers, this of course is still a 9mm, but it would apply if you wanted to switch it out. Put it in there, insert the takedown pin, and there's a right way to do this. Trying to do this with a camera between me and the gun is not an easy process. There you go. Lock it down in place. That's it. Just converted it from a full-size frame to the compact frame. One of the things you'll notice on this is with the compact, the rail cover doesn't go, or the part of the frame doesn't go all the way to the end of the slide as it does on the full size. Grip's a little bit shorter, makes it, in my opinion, a little bit easier to conceal. But if you were changing from 9 to 40 or 45, that's it. That's as hard as it gets, or as easy as it gets, depending on how you look at it.